What does it mean to be in a relationship with somebody else who sees you but yet is annoyed by you, who loves you but yet sometimes get agitated by you, and who supports you but yet have no idea how they got here with you. Um, I have never gotten that. Howdy, folks. All wise transformation here. Um, Fall is officially over, and um, the winter solstice is upon us. Next weekend is Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be driving down to go see the folks, mm, hang out with my parents. Sort of exciting and sad. Some family health issues going on. So yeah, so I'm gonna do that. Uh, got lost there for a moment, just thinking about the sadness and the the change. I wanted to talk about relationships. Um, More so for me, in thinking about what does it mean to be in a relationship with somebody else who sees you but yet is annoyed by you, who loves you but yet sometimes get agitated by you, and who supports you but yet have no idea how they got here with you. I have never gotten that. I've never had that. Yes, it's sad, but no, I realize that a lot of the stuff that people say are good for you are constructs and stories people tell themselves that um, X, Y, and Z will be good, or the myth about the having the house and picket fence and dog, being on the PTA meetings. There's also um, come to America. You know, your dreams will come true. You just gotta work hard for it. So there are all these narratives that we tell ourselves, and I think social media and movies have been really good telling folks the narrative of Prince Charming and the princess meeting each other and falling in love, living happily ever after. That's beautiful. That's really, really, really beautiful. But reality is it's so different. So different from that. You know, you move through the world with the idea, if you're lucky, of this is what you should be doing. This is the steps. You go to college, you get the degree, you get the job, and then you find the partner, and then and you build a home, and if you know, depending on the couple, if you so choose, you kids or you have fur babies. You know, um, hmm, the I don't want to blame everything on Disney because Disney is not necessarily the problem. It's not necessarily the problem. But they contribute to it. They are part of the propaganda machine. They're part of the propaganda. I can't even say that word. So, we got to just deconstruct the story. And then on top of that, being a queer man, a- and a person of color, we have our own sets of narratives that the mainstream has influenced. Um, and so uh, we find ourselves mirror imaging or shadowing um, heterosexual couples because there is no other framework besides the heteronormative framework. So you meet somebody like I did, you think, oh, this is the one. I can see myself living the rest of my life with you. Yeah, I could see that happening. Sometimes you annoy me as fuck. The uh this last person that I dated, one of my irritations was that he would put things on the stove, and the stove was off. You know, like specifically if we're food shopping and he's pulling everything out of the shopping bag and putting it on the counter, and sometimes the counter doesn't have space. And so he starts putting things on the stove, and again the stove is off. Um, I don't know why that bothers me, but that that really bothers me. But then like I don't know, he hugs me or he says something uh goofy or adorable, and it's like okay, okay. And then you forget it all, and then the irritation comes back after all the snuggle time is over. It's a partnering up is a thing that I think most of us want to do. Uh, e- it may not be a loving, it may not be a romantic relationship, but it could be community living with folks, um, or having a set of solid folks that you could depend on. That that if you get arrested, they they could they could bail you out. Which is also a very interesting statement. Uh, More so from a place of privilege, because most folks wouldn't be able to bail out somebody depending on the bail. Anyway, getting off track. So love is one of those subjects that's been sung about, that's been written about. Movies have been done. The saying that says it's what makes the world go round. I have to figure out. Maybe I don't, or maybe I should say maybe I won't. The variable of why I keep attracting emotionally unavailable. I sort of know the root cause. But I keep doing it. Knowing the root cause and changing the behavior are two separate things. So in this last relationship, it ended, you know, n not bad, but could have been better. To be fair, this last person was living in the closet, and within queer out culture, because there is also a queer closeted culture that it could be argued that sort of it's the DL culture. That process of figuring out who you are in all of that um, can be difficult. Uh, Losing yourself in somebody else to the point where you're like, oh, you're in the closet. That's okay. Um, I'm willing to accept you in your tough situation because I know what it's like, what it is, because it's always a coming out process, you know, like for queer people, there's never a moment where you're not coming out. Um, specifically for those of us who have higher pitch voices and more feminine mannerisms, we we can't really pass or hide or deflect um, any of that appearance. And so those folks, myself included, do not have the luxury to be passable. I think visually, if you see me, you know, coming down the street or sitting somewhere and you know on my phone or writing or reading, I would assume you would think that I would be a cis man. But the moment I open my mouth, you would be like, "Oh, I hear the sister." So this relationship lasted for maybe about a year, and then it sort of fizzled out. And then we engaged again, and I want to say maybe that lasted for maybe about a couple of months. Couple of months, I want to say. Dating and caring for somebody who's living in the closet can be difficult. And, you know, I won't say more about this. Yeah, I won't. I won't say. I won't say. I won't say. I won't say. It is not. It would be too much. It would be too much. So the assumption is that if you commit, if you dedicate, if you're willing to work, that'll work out. But the other person also has to want to do the work too. And sometimes they don't. So the agendas do not line up. They sort of veer off from each other, which is okay. Sad, but okay. And so I always fascinated by how people maintain relationships, how people get into relationships. It sort of thrills me a little bit when I hear about other people's relationship ending. Is that evil of me? I think that's a little evil. Um, not saying that I'm jealous. Maybe there's a sprinkle of it, sprinkle. But it also but depending on the couple, because you know I think sometimes couples want to put narrative that the relationship is good, it's perfect, and comes to find out that it's not. And so and it's okay for two people to sort of go their separate way. I think that's how life is made. I think that's how life should be. People come and go out of your life, and it's sad, it's horrible, and unbearable at times. And all you want to do is just run back to the beginning and say, let's not do this mistake again. But you never know why someone does anything. As heart-wrenching as it was for this last relationship to end, it also gave me hope to think that I do have the capability to love. Yeah, I, I think I do. I'm pretty selfish, and he was pretty stubborn. Um, yeah, selfish and stubborn. Selfish and stubborn.